Hi, I'm Jeff Terich, editor of TrebleZine.com, and we're in Austin, Texas for South by Southwest. Today we're going to be talking to one of our favorite new bands from the UK, Esben and the Witch, who just released their debut album, Violet Cries.
So we're Esben and the Witch, I'm Rachel.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Thomas.
It's very different for each of us as individuals, like what kind of playing live brings out in us, and we try to make sure that when we play we're quite honest about that rather than sort of thinking we should all behave in a certain way. We do behave very much as our personalities would dictate, so it's, you kind of have to be aware of what each other need to, the space each other need before you play and such alike as well. So it's like when we play our own shows, particularly back in Europe, we're able to bring certain kind of like props and lights and adornments, yeah, to kind of try and create the atmosphere we want. And yeah, playing in kind of like a tent in blazing sunlight isn't our natural habitat or our desired habitat, but it's I think it's been quite good for us to realise that there are different ways that we can express ourselves live, and different shows lend themselves to different kind of attitudes and set lists, and so it's, yeah, we're happy with how it's gone, certainly, but it definitely does, it's something that you need to consider, I think.
Yeah, adapt.
Yeah.
But it's kind of natural. It's strange because everything around it is so frantic. It kind of feels natural to be playing two shows some days, and we've kind of, I think we anticipated that it was going to be slightly more grueling than it has been so far. There was never really any intention to have it any particular way, apart from that none of us naturally play drums. So, and Daniel had, when we met, recently acquired a drum machine, so that was always kind of the base of the percussion. And we just found as we've written more, we've just felt like the desire to kind of utilise the drum and the cymbal in the centre of the stage more. So it's more in the songs themselves, and then naturally it ends up becoming more of a focal point of the live shows as well.
With it, like with a lot of stuff with what we do, and the drums I think in particular, it's more that it's growing as we become more competent. Like the reason that there wasn't any in the first place, as Thomas rightly says, is because none of us could do it, and as we kind of all feel a little more confident, I think it might expand somewhat, but it'll be something that we'll have to see how the songs kind of, if the songs lend themselves to more percussion, then there'll be more, and if they lend themselves to less, then there won't be any, I guess. It's quite natural. We kind of work more in the idea of trying to make something sound like an idea or a feeling or an atmosphere than thinking kind of like we'll write a verse and a chorus and then like put some words over the top of it. It's kind of a lot of the time the first thing that starts a song won't end up being in it in the end, so you kind of have something you work around and then realise that actually that bit isn't helping, so you take that out and you kind of like piff the song in a way, I guess. Crazy thing.
We nearly ran over a dog this morning.
Yeah. It just wouldn't get out of the way.
We were driving along the highway, and there's this tiny puppy in the road. It was obviously escaped from some garden or yard. It was so that was pretty crazy. So
it's a horrible little
hairy moment where we thought,
that's not how we want to start our days here.
Yeah.
The dogs on the way to trying to play a show.
Luckily, we managed to get on the grass, and someone went to save it. So we were, thank God. Yeah. It wouldn't have been the greatest start.